I decided to eat Domino's for 30 days to try lose a bit of body fat. This was me after the holidays, weighing in at 73.3 kilos because I got a little fat from hammering mince pies and I went a bit crazy on the dessert too. But why make it harder for myself and do it eating Domino's? Obesity and health issues have all been on the rise, and with the mass production of calorie-dense and hyper-palatable foods being everywhere, it makes sense both the convenience and availability of this contributes to fat gain. Because of the relationship between the two, some people are convinced foods like Domino's make you fat. You can't eat anything that isn't a salad. But there's something called correlation versus causation. Correlation meaning two things happening at once, and a positive correlation would therefore mean as one goes up, so does the other. And in the context of obesity and hyperpalatable foods, as the production of hyperpalatable foods has gone up, so is obesity. So it would make logical sense to assume that this would cause that, but that's not the case. Because what causes obesity is excessive calorie surplus for a long period of time. People love demonizing any pleasurable food, saying it's crap or it isn't real, and this typically does more harm than good, which just also contributes to the narrative certain foods make you fat. But these are the people that take Monopoly just a bit too serious and take all the joy out of it. These foods make life more enjoyable, and you can still have them as long as you can control calories. So why not prove society wrong and eat some of the most calorie-dense pizzas Domino's had to offer and still lose weight? The rules are simple. One small pizza a day, be in a 500 to 800 calorie deficit, and no foods are off limits. To start, on day one I had the Meatalicious, and that garlic and herb dip can chill in the bin. Definitely not spunking 170 calories for some white sauce I can make myself. The only way you can lose fat is by being in a calorie deficit. The amount of energy you expend per day has to be greater than what the energy is actually coming in. We get this energy obviously from food. Your body will then detect this energy deficiency and use fat as a source of energy to carry out its normal daily functions. So what I did was I went for more walks after meals, scheduled a daily walk in, and included 45 minutes of cardio a day too, because these activities just increase the amount of energy I'm spending per day and would put me in a steeper deficit. On day 3 I had this absolute massive monstrosity which came to just under 1500 calories. This meant I had to reduce my calorie intake throughout the day so I could actually have this pizza and still be in a deficit. And again, that's not too fun because, you know, I like putting things in my mouth. On day 8, I had this absolute beauty and it tasted unreal. I mean, just look at the state of that. Sorry to butt in, but I don't want you to be convinced that I'm telling you that this should be the bulk of your diet. Rather, these more pleasurable foods should be included with an overall healthy diet. Hence, outside of this, I made sure to eat whole and nutrient-dense foods such as cheesy tuna melt wraps, porridge oats, and fruit bowls because health. It is still important to fuel your body with the necessary micronutrients it also needs, like fibre. And I don't want to be a hangry hooligan craving mass amounts of food every day. Over the next week, I continue to stick to my daily habits, weighing myself daily, walking more, and eating a high protein and nutrient dense diet. With that in mind, to mitigate muscle loss from being in a deficit, I did a full body split 5 times a week and had a protein target. To calculate your daily protein intake, simply do 1.6 grams of protein times your body weight in kilos, and repeat it again but using 2.2 grams. This will give you a range and alleviate any pressure just to hit a specific number. I also weighed myself every day to remove the volatility from daily scale fluctuations. Sodium, sleep, stress, food volume, water, all contribute to the number you see on the scale. The Domino's challenge was going well until this happened. Remember rule 2 about being in a 500 to 800 calorie deficit? After eating that, I went lurking to the cupboards and probably ate my maintenance calories. I don't even like rules. They create restrictions which typically make you feel bad if you break them. So say if you overconsume your calories for one day, you are not going to gain all the weight you lost within one sitting. And with that, it's so important you create meals that genuinely satisfy you, as that is responsible for keeping you satiated. As we're nearing the end of the challenge, there was one thing I forgot to mention that made this entire process possible: sleep. There's a few reasons why, but in the context of a calorie deficit, I'm awake for less hours in the day to snack. And while if someone's force feeding me while I'm sleeping, I'm going to be slightly worried. And sleep regulates our appetite hormones too. The problem with being sleep deprived is that it leads to an increase in the amount of ghrelin in our bloodstream, which is referred to as the hunger hormone. Remember the last time you had 3 hours sleep and you had a meal and then you felt like you could genuinely eat the whole fridge? That's because your ability to feel satisfied, given there's more ghrelin in your bloodstream, is reduced. And it's only a problem because it makes adhering to a deficit harder. Then we have leptin, also known as the satiety hormone. The lack of sleep leads to a decrease in the production of leptin, which in the context of a Domino's challenge would have been really bad for me. How calorie dense the pizzas were, and well, I had to control my calories throughout the day. By the end of the challenge, I managed to lose 13.2 pounds, and some of that weight would have been water, and this is the results. And here's how light and intense it can change the way you look. Food shouldn't be feared just because it's gone through a degree of processing. You can still integrate the food you love and lose weight as long as you control calories. Alongside this, I'd recommend a balanced diet, getting in your fruits, your veggies, multiple protein sources, and well, obviously include a bit of chocolate now and then. Or if you want, go for a fucking takeaway. And either way, you can optimize your life to the T and eat grass-fed, organic, raw beef mince every day, and you're still going to die. So you may as well make your life on this earth a little bit more enjoyable and have a sweet treat now and then.